I'm traveling to every South American country competing in the 2026 World Cup. This is episode 2 and I've just arrived in Uruguay. I'll be living like a local and attending a match to rate their fans and see if they have the most passionate football culture in South America. I'm judging them on 4 things: pre-match build-up, match day atmosphere, passion and emotion, and cultural pride.
And that brings us to Uruguay, where we are today. We're going to be doing all things Uruguayan, trying to get as much as we've done. Unfortunately, I'm only here for a few hours. Well, I've got a few hours until the game, and then I'm going at 7 a.m. in the morning. So we can't have a big night because we're going straight to Argentina for the game tomorrow, which will be the next episode. So we're going to try and cram as much as we possibly can in the next few hours.
And that's going to include some of this stuff that I'm going to do throughout the day. Eating some Uruguayan food, buying a Uruguayan shirt, finding a spot to watch the game, and trying a pancho. But before we do all of that, I just want to explain why Uruguay is one of the best footballing nations historically. They won the very first World Cup ever in 1930, right here on home soil. 20 years later, in 1950, they travelled to Brazil as massive underdogs and beat the hosts in the final in front of almost 200,000 people in the Maracanã. That match is still called the Maracanazo, considered one of the greatest upsets in World Cup history. On top of that, they've won the Copa America 15 times, only being surpassed by Argentina in the last Copa America in 2024, who now have 16 wins. For a country with only 3.5 million people, their football legacy is absolutely cracked. They've been punching way above their weight for almost a century, and that's why I'm so curious to see what the atmosphere and passion is like here today. So my morning consisted of trying to find just an area with some people, but I was walking around the streets and it just seemed really empty. That was until I got pretty hungry and found this little tourist area.
Alright, this looks like a good sign. I've made it to somewhere. All I know is there's a little bit more livelihood down here. I mean, I say that and there's souvenir shops. But there's a lot of smoke coming out of this building and that smoke smells delicious. So hopefully we get something nice in there. Maybe some asado, or try to figure out what is famous in there. I'll have to ask someone.
This place was just really nice restaurants in here that I wish I could afford to go to right now, but instead we found the empanadas.
Hola. ¿Está abierto?
Sí, con lo que ves que queda por ahí. Fíjate acá, mira, los tornitos. Es lo único que va a quedar.
Sí. ¿Me das 3? Queso y panceta.
¿Es panceta?
Sí, carne. ¿Cuál tú prefieres?
¿Tenés carne, queso y zapallito?
Zapallito.
Carne de aceituna también está buena.
Zapallito. Mira.
No. ¿Algo más?
No, gracias. All good?
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. So you just saw me pick these up from Empanadas Carolinas. They literally were just about closed because it's 4 p.m. It's a little bit late. This one was carne with a little bit of spice. All right, let's try this beast. I honestly don't remember the ones I bought. This one's super cheesy with lots of stuff inside. I don't really know if I taste any meat in that, which should mean that the last one's chicken. This one was queso y panceta, or panceta, I presume in Spanish. It's a bit different, but it's really good. My goodness, these are pretty good considering they're not like super hot, because obviously they were closing and they've probably been sitting there all day. This one with panceta and cheese this one's pretty good, I can't lie. All right, this is our last chance here. This is Plaza Independencia. All right, here we go. This is the first thing I've seen that indicates there's a bloody game today. Look at that. It is pretty astounding, to be honest. Anyway, we've got some mate cups up here, but again, it's still just empty in here. We've got one Uruguay flag, and that's about it.
After a few hours of exploring the city, I eventually found a proper place to watch the game.
All right, we've made it. La Intendencia. We've found some people. Gracias. All right, what have we got? Neck warmer. There we go.
Things really started heating up.
Here we go. Fireworks going, but I seen this guy doing some. Hola,
¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
todo bien?
Bien.
¿Me das una, por favor?
¿Una?
Sí, una. ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Qué
Mirá.
es eso?
Tengo la oferta de 8 por 2.50, te hago 3 por 100, ¿querés? 3 por 100,
Solo una.
una 40.
Sí.
¿De dónde sos tú?
Soy de Australia.
¿Visitando Uruguay?
Sí, mi primera vez aquí.
Bienvenido.
¿Querés como bolsita?
Dime.
O en servilleta.
Servilleta está bien.
Muy bien.
Muchas gracias. ¿Quién va a ganar esta noche?
Uruguay.
Claro.
Uruguay, papá.
Buena suerte. Alright, that was super hard to understand. I wasn't sure what he was saying. I don't know the name of what this is, but nevertheless, we're going to try it. It's pretty good. Look, I'm a little bit slow, so I've been trying to figure out what the go is here, how we get inside to watch this game. And now I've just realised that everyone's looking the complete opposite direction. And that's the screen. There's one screen completely across the road. But if we still do this, that's all right.
Unfortunately, the TV actually lost connection right when they started singing the national anthem. So there was no footage here of anyone singing the national anthem, just this guy next to me singing it on his phone. So the game was finally up and running, and here already they were 1-0 down to Saudi Arabia.
Alrighty, well that was a bit disappointing so far. They've had some good chances, I can't lie, but it's 1-0 to Saudi. Seriously, if I go to all these countries and we lose everyone, I want to apologise in advance. Anyway, I do believe that Uruguay can definitely come back from this. Anyway, it's just one of those things, I guess. It's a good atmosphere nonetheless. Like, the match day atmosphere is pretty hectic. Everyone's going a bit crazy. The drums and the singing hasn't stopped the entire time, at least in that little area, which has been awesome. Anyway, might just go get a little drink and try find another snack. Hola, sí, un pancho con mozzarella y panceta.
Ah, ok.
Por favor. Muchas gracias.
Ok, gracias.
Alright, so we're getting a pancho. Now, this is supposed to be famous in Uruguay for kind of overhanging huge hot dog, I don't know. Comes out of both ends, and the hot dog bread is like heaps smaller than the actual hot dog itself, is what I believe to be the case. So we're at a food truck here and we're going to see how that goes. All right. ¿Puedo pagar con mi tarjeta? Muchas gracias. Gracias. All right, here we go. We've got it. Look at this thing. All right, it's a bit smaller than I expected. Like every other time I look down there, but it is definitely overhanging. I don't know if we can see that there. I didn't get anything on it because I just wanted to get the experience, a naked experience, you know? That's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. The cheese definitely helps. The bread's super soft and like with a little crisp on the outside. I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Anyway, it was back to the second half, and look at all of these reactions. They came so close to scoring that many times, it wasn't funny. Until finally...
Another corner. They just scored up 2-1. Sorry, up 1-0. Soon to be up 2-1. Come on. Close. Alright, they're going off again. Come on, here we go. Corner. Short corner, edge of the box. Oh! 93rd minute. No way. So close. Holy shit, one more corner. It's a minute extra of extra time. This place will erupt. Uruguay! Uruguay! Go! Oh! It's all over. They got to draw Saudi. They held on. Wow. They're still vibing up the back, but that felt like a loss for them. Yeah, I feel like the bad luck charm, I'm not going to lie. I haven't had a single win, and they were both strong favourites. That was definitely the best fan zone experience so far. That's winning for that. The boys with the drums and the trumpets, they didn't stop the entire time. It was really good. What an experience. I'm super happy. Super, super happy with that. Other than the fact that they didn't win.
¡Vamos
And I'm gonna-
Uruguay, maestro!
Vamos Uruguay.
¡Vamos Uruguay!
¿Qué pasa? ¿Por qué no ganaste?
Porque empatamos 1-1.
Ok, pero
Jugamos mal
La-
en el primer tiempo.
la próxima partida
La próxima vamos a ganar.
vamos a ganar.
A Cabo Verde.
Qué
¿Y
bien,
usted dónde es, amigo?
qué bien. Muchas gracias.
De nada.
So, there's my absolute sloshed Spanish with old mate. I saw him drinking the entire time. What a guy. All right, so that brings us to the review section of Uruguay. We're just gonna get straight into it. The pre-match at the actual site of the venue of the game was super, super awesome. But the rest of the city the entire day, there was just nothing. There was absolutely nothing. I didn't even know that there was going to be a game on. If I didn't know that the game was going to be on, I wouldn't have known. I didn't even see until very late afternoon one Uruguay jersey or any type of Uruguay merch. So for that reason, I'm only going to give it a 3.5. Now, during the match, well, that was by far and away the best atmosphere on the entire trip. The band, the singing, it went the entire time. The fireworks. Yes, they drew 1-1. They were down 1-0. They didn't stop singing. They just kept going, kept going. When they finally got the goal, things erupted, fireworks, people jumping up and down, and the vibes were insane. So for that reason, it's getting 5 out of 5. Next one is passion and emotion. Now, this one was slightly above average. During the game, it seemed intense and exciting, but I don't know, there wasn't anything telling me that, like, I don't know, this is do or die and like people gonna cry. Like, it was just another game. People didn't seem too bothered, but of course they wanted to win. But for that reason, I'm just giving it 3.5 out of 5. Now, cultural pride. If you're Uruguayan, don't take this personally. Unfortunately, Uruguay was the country I went to for the least amount of time. Like, I was only there just for the day, or like nearly half a day. So I didn't get to really speak to as many people as I wish I could have. Nevertheless, I didn't see a shirt the entire day. Yeah, and it didn't seem like there was as big a history as there actually is in Uruguay. Even though I know there is, and I'm sure on another day it would have been insane. But for that reason, I'm giving it a 2 out of 5, which gives them an overall score of 14 out of 20, which puts them in second place behind Paraguay, which is still leading with 16 out of 20. Thank you to all the people in Uruguay. I did actually have a great time. The atmosphere during the match was insane and the best out of any country I went to. So take that as you will, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be in Argentina.